Hi, I'm IKEA, and for today's video, I'm going to give you a build overview of a chest striker. And layout-wise, it looks like this, with 4 pieces of striker, with the chest, of course, being the titular part of a chest striker, and together with that, the backpack. Here we're pairing that with a Cheska piece and a coyote. This Cheska piece could be anywhere else. It could be the knee pad or the holster. The position of that doesn't per se matter. Together with that, we're going with some of the good exotics, so either sticking in a coyote or a bloody knuckles or an Exodus glove or a centurion scabbard. All of those can be pretty good picks, and of course once Tinkerer joins the pack, that will also be a decent pick here. And what we especially get with that chest, of course, is that we can take the cap from striker to 200 from that 100. This is the big differentiator between this and, for instance, an obliterate striker, which is much more the general meta. Reaching 100 stacks, you can basically do everywhere. Reaching 200 stacks is a lot harder. And on average, you have to be above 150 stacks, as that is a little bit over the crossover point between the two builds. And you have to be pretty consistent with that. And that isn't available everywhere, but for instance, things like Legendary or Incursion, that works pretty well. And on this build picture, which I'll link in the description and in the comments, we see that it is mostly crit damages on the stats. Here we basically have one extra crit chance here on the backpack slot, on the mod slot there. It can be, of course, anywhere. The position of that doesn't matter. Skill-wise, we were going to go with a Revive Hive together with some of the preferred skills of a red build. I like Pulse, Shield, Foam, Decoy, and of course the new smart covers. Specialization-wise, Gunner is especially great solo, but Demo and for instance Survivalist can be really good in group settings. Weapon-wise, we can go with basically any AR, SMG, or LMG. We especially want to target stuff that has higher RPM, so here for instance going with a FAMAS, and I'm pairing that with an ACS, here the Rock and Roll. Just to stack up those stacks, as the shotguns do count per pellet, and the ACS can really stack up pretty quickly, which we kind of need for that chest, of course. And the chest striker is definitely one of the top builds and definitely worth having alongside of an obliterate striker. What I have generally on all my characters is I have all 6 pieces of striker, so I can put in either a Cheska chest with obliterate or, for instance, a striker chest as the situation requires. In the places where this can shine, especially for instance Incursion and Dark Hours, this can really outdo an obliterate striker, but is very situational, and you need to be able to swap out as needed. This isn't a better build than an obliterate striker, neither is the obliterate striker better than this. Situationally, one can outperform the other, so you have to just pick depending on the situation. If you want to have a much more in-depth look into it, I do have a build showcase on red strikers where both this and the obliterate strikers are very prominently showcased.